Hi everyone, good morning. It's me. I hope you're all doing well. I would like to start off by telling you something that happened to me yesterday afternoon when I took a nap. Uh, Today is March 3rd, 2025, and it is 8:18 a.m. I was probably up around 6:30. I got all my chores done and everything, so guess what? If you've been watching, on January 11th, 2025, I had a lucid dream where I was completely and totally aware that I was dreaming, that I was in Dreamland, like in this other place, in my spirit body, and I was able to function. And it was really exciting. So that was the dream where I looked at my hands, where I got in the thing and I had these thoughts like, holy shit, I'm dreaming. Like I knew, like I was consciously aware of it with my thoughts, my feelings and actions, which is kind of rare. It takes this process. Like you have like moments of this throughout your journey, but this I found was something different. And I've been explaining over these last few years that my dream life has been changing. So I had that dream, and then on January 23rd, I had the doppelganger dream where I was in a room, not a large room. I couldn't really see a lot of it, but I was in a room with people, and I don't know how many there were, but I know there were at least two because I heard someone say to this girl, "Make sure it's her. Make sure it's not the doppelganger." Yeah. The thing is, though, is because this was introduced, I didn't understand how to see the Asura. And so since my perspective was changed, the subconscious communicates. It's sometimes like earlier on it's speaking in riddles and it's hard to translate. But then eventually, as these years go on, it changes. And so in this time, it said, yeah, make sure she isn't the doppelganger. And this girl, I've seen her twice now. Twice, which is extremely rare, okay? This is somebody I don't know as well. I have no idea who this girl is. And I told you what she looked like before. She's blonde, and she's got blue eyes and very small features. Like I said, I'm not talking in a rude way, like, oh, she's got small lips. No, not like not like that. I don't know. I'm 5'7". I probably weigh about, I don't know, maybe 135 pounds, 140 pounds. I used to weigh 150 pounds for the longest time, which was a great weight for me. But she's very slender. Her arms, like it doesn't look bad on her though. It doesn't look unhealthy. It looks natural, okay? But her arms are very slender and long. Not abnormally, but she's just long and slender. She has these long, small arms. She's a small person, but not like a little person or anything. Just like compared to me, like I guess I'm a larger girl. You know, I've seen a lot of girls that are smaller than me. I'm trying to give you the best. Okay, so she's slim, but she's not very tall. She's shorter than me. Because when I was looking down at her because I'm bigger than her. But not by a huge amount. So she's probably top of her head was right there compared to mine. So like this. That's the top of her head and I'm looking in her eyes, but she's a little bit further away. Okay, she wasn't that close. So probably about there. I was looking down at her. Not like up like here or equal, but I was looking down. So she's smaller. Okay, for sure. And she has the most beautiful blonde hair. And she had it in a ponytail before. And she had it in a ponytail yesterday when I seen her. But her hair's long. It's so long and beautiful. It goes If it's up in a ponytail at the top of her head, it goes down past her butt. Yeah, it was such a pretty ponytail. So, what happened the first time I seen her on the 23rd was that she comes over and the energy wasn't real. She's playing. Like, she was testing me. She goes, full attitude too. Like, well, if you're so powerful, why don't you pick me up and bring me over there? Or why don't you pick me up and fly me over there? I can't remember exactly what she said, but I flew her anyway. I just was like, I looked at her and I'm thinking, this girl is testing me. Like, not in a rude way, but this is a test, I thought to myself. She's not being serious. And so all I did was I flew, like, I just thought of it, right? So you don't think fly, there's no flapping of the wing, you don't move your feet, you just think. So I moved towards her, I grabbed her, I picked her up, and I swooshed to the side a little bit, and I put her back down. And she turned around and she goes, it's her, it's her. And she told everybody like it was some type of event or something, something that was important. See, I knew, wait, I'm going ahead of myself. Okay. Then, okay, let me see. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I do. So she says it's her. Yeah, see, I've written it stuff down here. So I don't remember the days and what I've had these dreams because they're really important. Yeah, so that's all that happened. And she turned around and she told everybody. And at that time, I felt so solid in my energetic bodies, my etheric, whatever it's called. Everything was aligned. And it almost felt like, but not in a bad way. I could feel my energy source. Like, even though, it's very hard to distinguish. I could feel like I was whole. And I've never quite felt that way. Like there's always been something out of alignment or something. It's incredible. So yesterday, there's been some energetic attacks going on. Let's just leave it at that. And I was dealing with it the best I could, but it got to be a little overwhelming. And so I took a nap. This is important though. This, to tell it exactly how it happened, is so important. So when I was going to sleep, I was a little depressed, okay? And just having negative thoughts. It's not a bad thing. It's, it was something that I was trying to hold back. I could feel like this energetic push. These things happen. I don't really like talking about it because there's a lot of people that, one, don't know enough about it to understand it, not in a rude way, and two, people just, all they do is judge or think it's paranoia or this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I just, you know, but what exactly? What was it? Oh, yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to that part after. We're gonna get to what's been bringing me down because I think that, when I finally made that last video about the culling, I felt better about it. You know what I mean? And that was the whole purpose of it. Like I just kept wanting to talk about it over and over and over, and I made several videos, even though you can't see them, I got rid of them. Until I felt like I did it properly and I got it out completely, I cleaned out the wound and now I can heal from it. So I went to sleep yesterday and I was kind of feeling down about myself. I even think that I was thinking like, and when I say this, it's just because of how frustrated I feel about the CPTSD. And so I was like, oh, I just hate myself. I hate this life. I hate the way things are, And I know that's really awful of a vibration, but this is really, really hard for me. And I'm gonna get to that point because, like I wrote in my book, and I'm not trying to sell it. I wrote that as a warning and a message because I did not think that anything bad was going to happen to me the last time I was here. And that's how karma works. You think that nothing's going to happen to you, that you're super powerful, and that, even these people that are doing these types of ritual magics and stuff, they feel powerful at the time, but don't understand the consequences later. So, I'm even doing this for them, because I don't need to do that stuff. Like, I don't take part in that. I don't practice that. I never have. The only type of thing that I do is prayer. See what I'm saying? And I'm not praying to hurt anybody. I'm just praying for all this to be resolved. You know what I mean? For the right things to be done and all that. And I know that that's difficult for people to believe. I've really gone off the trail here. But I'll just get it over with. I think that's because it isn't in them. So they can't believe that somebody else is actually telling the truth, that somebody else is actually being genuine and authentic, And so they don't believe it. And so this was what causes them to do these magical attacks and bullshit anyway. In the spirit realm, it was this girl. I'm pretty sure it was her. That showed me pages. It was loose leaf, actually. Like she had all written it down. All this stuff that was done against me, magically. She's like, look at all these rituals and shit you've survived. Look at all this. Look what they're doing to you. But I didn't know. I wasn't aware. Not completely. I always had a feeling. But, it just feels so like paranoid and delusional to think that way. But there actually is people out there like this. Yesterday, when I went into this dream space, again, it was similar, but because my vibration was off, I got to see myself for a moment, like almost looking into a mirror. And my spirit body was distorted. In fact, one eyeball started floating over here. And that's what the fourth dimension is like. If you watch these videos that I posted, it can be like that. That's why I said, like, it's like this weird finger thing. Like, you'll almost think you've got an extra finger, but you don't. It's like your echo of your spirit body. I don't know how to explain it. That's the best I can do. But yeah, my eyeball, I looked at myself. I was like, ooh. And like I could see it was me, but my image was distorted. And like I said, one eyeball started to float over here. I was like, oh, come back. And then, so that happened. Like I wasn't feeling so good, But then I turned around and that girl, I got to see her, and she was wearing like tight pants, boots, and a top. But they were a dark color, but I can't tell you what it was because I can't remember. Because it was almost like things were in black and white. But what I do remember is that the walls had that pinkish purple color. And she came through a doorway and down 3 stairs, but she stopped before I exited the stairs. I got off them exactly because she went, oh, like she was surprised that I was there. Like she was surprised to see me, or maybe that I looked that way. I don't know, but she was just not in a bad way. She was just surprised and didn't expect me, I could tell. But that's all that happened. And I saw her again. Like I can't say for sure 100% because I didn't see her. But the feeling is the same. With the one where she's like, look at what they've been doing to you, flipping all these pages, pages and pages and pages full of writing of stuff that people have done to me. With like little diagrams and stuff that I can't really all remember, but she was drawing it all down, like writing it all down on these papers and showing me all the rituals and stuff. But I don't know if it was her 100% though. I didn't see her. All I saw was her hands and her arm, but I can't say for sure because I didn't see her face. But these 2 times now I've seen this same girl. I think it's absolutely incredible. This is why I shared it, because this is such an incredible thing. This is so much better than sitting around waiting for aliens and disclosure. Believing those people, oh yeah, it's going to be at this month, we're going to have this freaking conference, and nothing happens every time because it's a money making thing, and the government makes money off of it too. They've got to, or they shut it down. If they don't profit off of it, get rid of it. So that's why they probably all make all these whistleblowers and stuff, because it makes a shit ton of money. Oh, but this is so wonderful, and I know it's going to happen for people. But like, if you're they won't focus on this. This is keeping them away from their ascension and graduation. I and there is small benefit, but it holds people back. It does. It held me back so much. All these people that I believed, because I believed they had a heart like mine and that they were telling the truth and being honest, and they weren't. They were exaggerating and adding on to stuff and making up stories to make this seem more cool. But it's already cool. It's already. Who you were was already good enough. You didn't need, like, these people didn't need to say, I'm in a secret space program. What you triumphed over and went through life to achieve this is enough. And this comes to the part where what's been bothering me, and it's been bothering me for a long time. I knew something was wrong. I could feel it, and I've said so over the years in my videos. I just, I have to remind myself, because this has happened to me before, where when I was researching about like what the Illuminati cabal people are into, the Satanism, all that crazy shit, I'm thinking, I couldn't, what would make people like this? Why? What would make them feel the need to do it? It's just, it, the point is that I read a quote that really helped me. I don't know who said it, but it is so true, that if you truly do not understand something like that, it's because it's not in you. See, there's a lot of things that I can talk about and that I can understand, because at one point in time, whether in this life or my last one that I have recollection of, the little bit that I do, I have experience with it. It is in me in some part, even though I'm not that person who I used to be in the past life, or even who I was 10 years ago, even who I was yesterday. That's how I do that. That's how I understand others. I felt so much. I've been through so much. I can see it in other people, right? I'm not saying that I'm perfect or anything like that. Not in the least. I've had to go through hell, and I never want to go back. You understand? Never. I never want this to happen again to me. To have consequences like this. Because people might think that my life is great and that I have no problems just by based upon what I look like. And that is so detrimentally stupid for you. And the reason being is because it holds you back from your own inner journey, your own self-discovery, and for you to be as self-aware as I am. That's why. I truly do love who I am, but my circumstances are tough. And to find out that Corey Goode was going around saying he's got PTSD from fighting evil aliens, being in a secret space program and shit, and I don't care which way you play it, that's what he did. The secret space program isn't real. The secret of the secret space program is what I've just told you. It's a spiritual thing, and that's why the government can't get a handle on it. They never will. There's going to be no disclosure unless it's their bullshit. That's it. All those people, Lou, what's his name, that Dave Grush or whatever, in these conferences, I'm sorry. I didn't even listen to those people. I didn't know who they were. They felt like superficial and surface level. There was nothing, so I never bothered with them. But that's it. And I couldn't understand it. And you'd think, well, they have credibility because they're a military, this and that. Nah, you can't trust them. All those people work together. What the alliance really is an alliance of people like Corey Goode, David Wilcock, and all the other names you see. If you see them in a conference together doing an expo or a UFO thing, that's to make money. They're never unified other than that, unless it's to make money. That's it. There is no real unification. These alliance people will align together to push their false agenda of that, like Elena Danaan's going to Neptune with the Galactic Federation, which isn't true. Or Corey Goode's with the Spear Being Alliance doing a secret space program. It isn't true. But it's not just them. It was the people before them. Oh, well, they just copied off. No. Those people were lying too. People like John Lear, full of shit. He's been doing it for ages. Bob Lazar, same thing. And I know, I really wanted to believe these people were genuine and real and true, but they're not. I know. And it's been horrific. Like, I really did not, there's a hair in my eye. I really did not think for one single second. Is it gone? I'm really sorry, hold on. Some people think it's gross when you like rub your eye or whatever. Sorry. Oh my god. Hold on. I gotta get it. It's fucking hurting. Anyway, ow. Like I had a straight up long eyelash. Like a kung fu speared me in the eyeball. I got it. So what I was saying before, I don't really remember, but I'm going to continue on what I think I was talking about because I know that this is difficult for people to hear, and it just gets worse because people snicker and laugh at me for falling for this stuff, right? If you've fallen for religion, that's going to be the biggest one of all. So I want to explain something to you that it took me a really long time to understand because, like I said, I am not like this. So I didn't actually think that other people were as well. I didn't. And that's probably the hardest part. Even though I can understand to a certain degree why people would do this, like I said before, feeling like they weren't good enough or that they had to exaggerate to make it more appealing or for it to sell books or whatever, because you have to appeal on the person's desperation to escape out of here. That's a lot of what it has to do with, or like just the difference of the world. So the world isn't like this anymore. No more war, no more taxes, no more government, whatever it is, whatever angle they took it on, whether it's Q, Cobra, any of that nonsense, politics bullshit. They'll get you any way that they can because you're so desperate for things to change and not be like this anymore. Even with med beds, they told people that med beds were coming out, and you'll be able to heal everything from fibromyalgia, PTSD to the big C. You know what I'm saying? So, and they got people like this, and there were people that had that illness, the big C, and were begging them when this was going to come out. There's a lot of people who've disgraced themselves going on about med beds and dates they were coming out and different things like this. It's been years. Disclosure has been something that's been going on probably since before 2012, okay? And they've been saying it's going to happen this date, this date, this date. It just gives them a few more years, and get people excited. Now I believe David Wilcock has said that Ascension is going to happen in May 2025. So this coming May. Which, if it does, oh my goodness, these people are in trouble because I don't think they really expected the Christ to return. And the Christ in itself is the strongest power in the universe. Yeah. So, this here is what I'm going to use as a visual demonstration, okay? There are people, this is a pyramid. This is all of us, okay? This is us. And this is them. And I know it's not supposed to be us versus them. Unfortunately, that's the way they have it. You can have it this way in your heart, which is best. Unconditional love and not seeing even good or evil, but seeing through it, right, is for the best. Unfortunately, this is why they call us the profane, because we are ignorant of what they are doing. Okay? These people are all about that money. That's it. And staying on top. That's it. That's all they care about. They want to remain the ruling class. They want to remain the elites. They want to remain above so they can feel better than everybody else. Money and power, this is what gives them relevance, these types of people. And lying, deceiving, scheming, conning, it gives them validation and self-worth. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I've been in all kinds of pain in this life, and like for instance, when I was young, I remember feeling so bad about being adopted and a single child with no siblings. And everybody around me had all these siblings. And I remember how left out I felt. It was a feeling of inadequacy, lack. And so I would make up stories. But I mean, I do have siblings. I've got 1, 2, 3, I think I've got 4. But I don't know who they are really. I don't know them. I think I only know 2 of their names. The other ones I don't. So it's not like they didn't exist or anything. I was just exaggerating or pretending like I knew more about the subject than I actually did. And this is what these people are doing. I mean, I've been kind of waiting and waiting for my own dream life to evolve to see if things would change before. Is this? Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought this was a Sharpie for a second. Because that would have ruined my board. But yeah. Because I really wanted to make sure if I was going to make contact with some type of galactic federation or something, then, I could explain things a little further. But, I mean, I already hit it on the money anyway, that it's astral travel, it's spiritual, and the astral travel part of it is when you connect with your spirit team. And I mean, you're using your imagination, but it's more than that. It's like an intuitive thing. And like I was saying, how the subconscious speaks to you. I don't know. It's kind of like that because they are getting certain stories out that have helpful, beneficial information for people to kind of grasp things. But like for instance, Elena talks about the fact that Elena Danaan talks about the fact that extraterrestrials are on Jupiter, but they're in another dimension. It's spiritual. Even herself, she's a shaman and stuff. You know what I mean? It's all spiritual. A druid shaman, I believe. And I just, no matter what I tell myself about it, it doesn't feel right to do. I never felt that need. I didn't need to exaggerate anything. I think that, like I said, what I've been through in my life and just my life journey, the parts of it that I have come into awareness about, that I have become conscious over, you know, it's a gift. I mean, even though the outside feels like a curse, this is a gift. And if the curse gave me the gift, I am grateful. But I just, I think it comes to a point where it's no longer necessary and it does more harm than good, you see. Every day, there are people asking these people questions and they go unanswered because they don't want to tell them. There is no ice wall. There isn't one. It's a representation of the barrier between this world and the next. And to pretend like there is and that you've been over it and that you are hanging out with people who come from there, and you leave it open for interpretation for people to be like, wow, Claudio, are you ever cool? You're hanging out with extraterrestrials? This is fake. I see it the same thing. It's a temporary fill. I don't know how, and this is probably why Corey Goode always looks so fucking depressed, because this has not been good for him. This doesn't actually get him any love and appreciation for who he really is. None of them. And they're all of this that they think, oh, people love me, I'm this and that. It's going to go right down the toilet. No one's going to remember these people for what they did. It's going to be at the end of what people found out that they were lied to and deceived. It won't matter. Trust me, it doesn't, if it doesn't do this for me, it's going to be the same for everybody when they find out they are not happy. And it doesn't matter what it's given you. It doesn't. Like, yeah, I am grateful, but at the same time, this caused horrible side effects. Definitely caused so much pain and destruction to my life. I lost so many people from my life. If I had just told them about the spirit realm and not gone on to how about aliens are going to land and rescue us all with the Galactic fucking Federation, I trusted these people that they were telling the truth. I mean, if it's anything, it's so apparent in my book how influenced I was by Claudio Nocelli. And I believed him. But then again, if it wasn't for all that, would have my book ever come into creation? Would I be here right now? I don't know. So I'm sorry, like I'm not doing this to purposely hurt people or to harm them or take away your precious money. But that's all it is with these people, especially David Wilcock. I've never seen anything like it. That man is terrified to lose money. It's all about money with him. And they are going to, with disgusting tactics. Like, in order to protect her creation, first off, years ago, Elena Danaan was friends with Megan Rose. They were together, they were doing podcasts together because it's greater in numbers to have your story be believable. That's why this alliance gets together. They team up, power in numbers. So she gets this girl on. They start talking about how they're both together with somebody from the Galactic Federation. That's the first thing they talk about, is that Megan Rose has a boyfriend called Valnek, who is an extraterrestrial. Just like Thorhan. The same. Same, I think even from the same, like, place or whatever. Same planet or whatever. Palladian or whatever. And these people are past civilization people that were here. They didn't come from the Pleiades. Anyway, so since it was Elena Danaan's creation, and she wrote that book, she made the creation, she made up Valnek, she made up Thorhan. Okay? Because I don't know what that girl's name is. But, no, I'm not even going to tell you yet. The blonde one from my dream, I call her Usa now. Because she reminds me of Usagi. She looks like Sailor Moon a little bit. She does. She does. She's got that blonde hair and the blue eyes. She does. So I call her Usa now. It's short for Usagi. Usa. But that's not really her name. You know what I mean? Gotta call her something. Blonde lady with the ponytail just doesn't really cut it. I got lioness lady, black puma lady, and Usa. Whatever. The thing is, though, is that Elena made up these characters. Whether she just gave these spirit people that she's met in her dreams, like me, names, which is nice. Because, like I said, you gotta call them something. But she made up Valnek, pretty sure. Or just went along with whatever Megan was saying because it helped her cause. But then when Megan Rose started to defer from the agenda and go along Trump and Q and stuff like that and whatever, Elena gave her the boot. But the only way that she could do that is to destroy her character and her foundation based upon what this Megan Rose person now is selling books and talking about. So she had to go on and say that this Valnek character was actually gay. Megan Rose doesn't know what she's talking about. Valnek left with his gay lover to another galaxy. This is on her website, Elena Danaan's website. She posted it up, she talked about it, and purposely tried to destroy her friend for money because it was ruining her agenda. It wasn't going along with what she wanted. Now, fast forward from when she found me. Yes. She was all about Galactic Federation, Galactic Federation. All of a sudden, what changed for her to go to the Anunnaki? Hello. Because that's why I deleted my original Telegram. Because I had you can still see the information that I've done about the Anunnaki. It's still there on a video here on my YouTube. There's about a list about this long of links. One of the documentaries is literally 8 hours, okay? And I've watched them. There's about the Shining Ones, the Thuatha Danaan, same as her last name, Danaan. It's just spelled a little differently. What else? The shining ones, did I say that already? Anyway, you can see that on that video, okay? At that time when that came out, she switched her game up because she knew the Anunnaki were these beings that come down. She wanted to be number one. She wants to take number one place. She speaks for them. Now she speaks for Anu and Enlil or whoever. People who know, they will notice what I'm telling you right now. That is why it changed. I'm not saying it was directly, or like I can't prove it, okay? I was tagging her, calling her out on my Telegram and my YouTube at that time. She talked about the beings. People were asking her about these asuras. She called them beings of pain, and she didn't want to talk about it. I know what she was talking about. I know she knows I exist. Okay? It's not paranoia. It's not just wanting somebody, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I am doing all of this, risking looking like a crazy person, looking like a fucking asshole. You know, you could be like, oh, you're being mean. No, I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. There were people that tried to tell me this stuff in the past, but I wasn't ready to hear it. I couldn't accept it. And so a lot of people probably like that have turned off the video already. You see? And they're going to lose out on this information. I had to learn the hard way. And I really don't want people to waste their lives like this either. Not like this. I could have gotten so much farther, you know? Yeah. And in a way, I regret writing my book. It's so personal, and I mean, I guess I thought that everybody else was being so truthful and honest and all of that. So it just kind of puts me in a little bit of a vulnerable feeling, and I feel pretty betrayed, to be honest with you. And I know that it was my fault. Like, I just I don't know. I'm always so down on myself. Like, am I in the wrong, or is it both wrong? Like, was it wrong for them to make up lies and stuff? Because now, like, this is why I've had such a hard time to have anybody listen to me or take anything into consideration of what I had to say. But those people don't care about that. Again, it's all about that money and staying up here, even in the mentality of people thinking that you're better than them. Oh, I'm an ambassador. Oh my God, Corey's an ambassador. Oh my God, Elena's an ambassador. For real. But they're not. That's why I could never figure out, I'm like, why the fuck would they choose somebody like Corey Goode? And it wasn't about jealousy. I really felt like a terrible person. I was hating on myself because I didn't understand. I mean, maybe I'm naive to believe that people wouldn't do that. But is that really so bad? I mean, the only person that hurt was me. I had an innocent, loving heart that believed in others. I still do, but just not in the same way. I, I, I never have gotten, I've never, see, it kind of feels like doing the right thing doesn't get you anywhere. And what I've noticed is that people that scam, cheat, lie, and scrape on the backs of others, like step on them to go, that's what gets you places here. And we've seen it time and time again, and it's just excused. Like, oh, like, So clearly this is inadequacy and weakness in these individuals. And I'm sorry. I know. We've all been through so much pain, but you know what? Um, it isn't a competition or anything, but I've really I've had a truly hellish life. It is hell for me to have no friends and no family, to be unseen, to be unappreciated and unloved my entire life. Yep. Abused, used, literally, even my best friend that I thought loved me for 20 years, it was fake. I should have known. She was hanging out with my childhood bullies. They bullied me my whole life, including her, laughing and going on, but I loved her. And then that love, it's one-sided. I'm glad it's in me, but I don't have that bond anymore. I don't see her the same anymore after what she's done. And I always told her that I thought it was disgusting that she was friends with those people. They tortured me. She had her friends and her boyfriend spit into a giant tobacco cup and poured it on me while I was sleeping at her house, like a big glass of tobacco spit. People doing that. And they poured it on me while I was sleeping. I didn't do anything to these people. I was the person that was telling them to do the right thing. They fucking hated me. I wasn't sucking dick at 14, but they were. And they hated me. Sorry. I'm not going to let you make me feel less than ever again. Because that's what they did. They made me feel like the most disgusting, awful person. And I had no friends, and I didn't want to be by myself, and the only person I loved was Jenny. And she let those people do that to me and never did anything to them. A girl spray painted a house, put her name on it too, and said for a good time, call these numbers. They were our phone numbers and names. She spray painted a vacant house that was for sale. The cops were involved in everything. When I won my trip to go to the Backstreet Boys, and I brought Jenny with me, these jealous, awful bitches did stuff like this. You will never know hell like I have. And I don't want it for you, even though you probably fucking deserve it. And I threw up this morning because I'm so bothered by the fact that so many people did this. In fact, all of them. Either they don't know, they're innocently going with something because they've been manipulated and influenced by others, because the answers just aren't available to them yet. Like, I had to wait a long time for this, and I had to do a lot of praying and a lot of inner work, a lot of studying, a lot. I don't know. I never thought. I mean, I had a feeling, but I thought there was something wrong with me. I didn't think there was something wrong with them. And I haven't listened to people like David Wilcock in years, but I have recently, and he's terrified. He's blaming this fella, Stephen Cambion, for stealing money, stalking. He called him a fucking pedophile. It's really, really bad. Like, and this fella didn't do anything except tell the truth. he's the one that released the deposition for Corey Goode. Good? Fuck them! The truth will always prevail. And you guys are the ones who were preaching this. You were talking about this day of reckoning. What did you think, it wouldn't come for you? That no one would ever figure it out? That even if, like, because I know for a fact they got into this esoteric shit, because I did. I learned all the stuff that they did and chose not to do it. Because there's another way. Even that's why I don't like Gaia. Because these are all the same esoteric people. They think they're up here. And they're profiting off of it. They call themselves the new gods of antiquity. They've got a mental problem. I'm telling you right now, any type of advanced civilization doesn't give a fuck how much money you make. Listen, the god of this world is a money god because it's a physical thing. That is a physical token. That's what you exchange. That's why they call it selling your soul. All of these people sold out. You sold out. Hold on. Okay. I gotta wait a minute for the sound needs to adjust. All right. So when I was listening to David Wilcock over the past couple days, he talked about, and I'm not happy about this or anything, but his dog passed away. He said it must have been part of my initiation. Really, David? Yeah. These people are all the Black Grail. They know this stuff. They've probably read it. If they thought this is only temporary, that's why it's upside down and the money. What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? It says prosperity at others' expense. That's what they're doing right now. They are prospering. That's what this symbol is. That same symbol is on the chest of He-Man. But it's at the same. The White Grail too. It's because you need to make a fucking choice. But they don't tell you. Manly P. Hall didn't tell you. There are some secrets need to be kept. The consequences. These are them. They will rise you up and crash you down. This is what I was warning Corey Goode about. These Anunnaki beings. They will raise you up and they will crash you down to make you look like a fucking fool. And they're gonna do it to everybody. They're beings of the mind. And they're the best at it. Selfishness, shortcuts mastered by appetite and comfort. That is the Black Grail. They want their vacations. They want fancy clothes. They want fancy food. They want trips to Disney World paid for them, Corey Goode, by saying you've got PTSD and a secret space program fighting evil aliens. I never followed Corey Goode, by the way. I didn't. The only thing I ever watched with him in it was Cosmic Disclosure, because David Wilcock and Corey Goode did that together. I don't know what happened to David Wilcock. He wasn't always like that. Like, not really. I mean, he always had a bit of an ego and all this type of stuff. Nobody's perfect, but definitely the money and power took over David Wilcock's mind. He is not channeling Archangel Michael. He knows goddamn well that is not Archangel Michael, okay? And it explains that in The Gods of Eden by William Bromley. And it's not that this is just how it makes sense to me, but once you read it and you see all the other stuff about it, this is why. This is why the Archangel Gabriel came down for both Christianity and Islam. They did that on purpose for division and control. Okay? They disguise themselves as higher beings. Remember, wings mean a higher dimension, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. These beings, whoops, I went way too far because the little chart is up here and it explains about what these, that's why everyone's about the fifth dimension. So here's where it says, and it says at part 5, demons, 6 is angels, 4 is spirit, okay? But listen to what it says. This is by David M. Masters, and this helped me so much to find this. This is when I first started to understand about dimensions. So he says, this, the 5th dimension, this is why everyone's about 5D, because it's a big old mind fuck. This is the plane of existence populated by intelligent entities that have never existed in the 3rd dimension. They don't know what it's like to be here. They've never had human life. They've never gone through this. Being closely associated with the 3rd dimension, entities in the 5th spiritual dimension can interact with us easily, influence our thought patterns, circumstances, or the elements. In religious texts, these entities are referred to as demons or the fallen angels, which is why the Anunnaki are referred to as that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's an evil thing. It is very much a test, and they do watch to see what you're going to do with it. So they do give you these certain informations, right? They are observing you, but they also want to see what you're going to do with it. Okay? I stand firm and confident and happy for the choices that I've made. Okay? Even though it has been absolute hell, the road to heaven feels like hell. And the road to hell feels like heaven. Because it's a trap. It's a trick. It's a mind fuck. What does it say? The white grail is service, self-sacrifice, which these people cannot do. It's all about them. Purification, love, and study. This is why I put these resources here. If you think that I haven't studied all that on my Telegram and on my YouTube playlists, you are incorrect. Yeah. You cannot enter to the temple with the development of the mind or heart. It has to be the equal development of both. This is what I was talking about Ken Wheeler. He's really focused on his intellect, but not the heart. You may think, oh, no, not the heart. That's the problem. So you'll have these people that get so far, but because they cannot unify, they can't do this left and right unification or heart and mind unification, body, mind, and soul unification. This is why my spirit realm is changing and why these things are evolving as they are. Inner reflects outer, outer reflects inner, and all that, you know? So my microcosm on the inner is changing. And I also am seeing changes on the macrocosm. And I just, it even says I didn't realize about initiation because I didn't really realize what the Christ was at the time. I didn't understand it. That's why I didn't put the initial story about my experience with the Christ and Jesus in here because I didn't really know how to explain it. Of course, after I figured it out and I wrote that story, which is symbolism and allegory. I can do the same thing. Actually, Helena Blavatsky was the one who showed me how. And she showed me by her book. I said I had an inner vision with her, but I didn't know who she was at first because she looks really young. Like, who the fuck is that? Dressed in these nice clothes, but like looks really young. But I do remember her really beautiful, beautiful eyes. She has these crystal-like eyes. And anyway, so she was young, but I didn't recognize her. But then I knew she was like, I was like, well, this, you know what I mean? Like about the land of the gods. And then I read the first five. She said, read 5 pages, you'll know what it is. Read 5 pages, you'll know what it is. That's what she was trying to get to me. And so I read 10, but by 5, I knew what it was. And I was very happy. You know, it's almost like um, being seen and appreciated. It feels like that. So what the Christ here I'm trying to read to you? Is it 7? Yeah, the Avatar. Where does it say that? But that Christ is the strongest there is. Hang on. No, that's the Silent Watcher. That wouldn't be. That's too far. See, this is what they wrote about initiation, but I mean, what they're talking about, like with the Black Jesus story, with David Wilcock's nonsense with that, because honestly, how could you write that story and then not research the man? It took me not long to find out about Simon. So it's almost like he either believed that bullshit that these fake insiders were giving him, or he did that on purpose to create this like false narrative. Because I mean, you do become a superhero, just not in the way that they make it seem. Like the sun's gonna flash off one day and we're all gonna turn into Superman and Wonder Woman. Okay? I mean, I'm not I'm not closed off to that happening, but I just feel like they might be exaggerating to sell it. Definitely hooked me in like that. But again, I also was aware ever since I was a child that these higher dimensionals existed. Whether I didn't know what they were called, I used to say basically a group of superheroes that were out there, and I knew they knew about me. I've said this before, as I knew about them. It's these people, and it even says at the Avatar level that beings at this level have an invulnerability that would not be affected by a bullet fired at them or even the detonation of a nuclear bomb. And this is the type of person that David Wilcock was referring to when he was writing about the Black Jesus. This is basically what people, this is why it's called seventh initiation. This is what he was talking about when he said, oh, my dog died. It must be part of my initiation. This is what he's talking about. Now, again, everything comes from somewhere, and this was taken from, not taken, but borrowed and retranslated, rather, so other people could understand it, because I really don't the Vedas and like the big maps and like that's a lot of intimidating information. So for somebody to take it and kind of simplify it so that you can understand it even to the smallest degree, so that your perception, your outlook of things, and your out like the way that you see it for yourself and the way that you create your reality outside of yourself, right? So that you have some form of foundation to stand on. But I'm glad that they did this because it kind of gives you an outlook as to all the different cultures and that it's gone on throughout time. Not just in our time, but all throughout the ages. And that brings me back to the root races of humanity. There's been 5. There's supposed to be 7. And I mean, if you research that part, this explains where those giant skeletons have come from. Not about, like, it talks about this in the process of our evolution, of these different avatars we've been in, these bodies, vessels. Just we have this small, compact vessel, like a little cellular phone, smartphone that we have now. At one time, it was a big, chunky ass computer that took up an entire room. Remember when they made the first computers and it needed like an entire room with one monitor? Something like that. That'd be like the giants with their one eye and their big ass, bodies and stuff. So as the computer like that evolved, our vessels have evolved this way as well. There may be some type of interference point. It may have to do with the sun. I've heard a lot about the sun, and that's probably why they got people with, oh, the solar event's going to be this day, that day, that day. That's what the event is. That's what Corey Goode used to talk about all the time. The event, the event. That's what the event is, this solar flash thing, where they think everyone's just going to turn into a superhero all at once. That wouldn't work. That happened before. We all killed each other. That's what I was trying to tell people. It's almost like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like they all want to hold this torch. The same type of torch that Prometheus took fire from the gods. That's what I just saw. But not in the same fashion. Like, it's like they want to be that one with the torch running across the finish line. Like, look at me. When I wanted us all to get there, I know that's not possible for everyone to go at once. Like, not just like graduation. Just because the grade 12s are graduating doesn't mean you in grade 9 are going to graduate. And I know, I remember being in school and being like kind of jealous and upset when people were graduating. You know, I want to get out of high school. I know. And I don't know, like, since I was having similar experiences and I was instructed to tell the truth, be yourself, tell the truth. I was like, are you fucking sure? You want me to be myself? Yes, my complete, true, honest self, swear words and all. Yeah, that was enough. More than enough. So I'm trying to deal with it all the best that I can, but it's really difficult. And I mean, the majority of the people that have subscribed, even though I appreciate your support so much, I've been trying to talk about things, but also let you know what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of people that have no idea what I'm talking about because it's never been part of their reality. Maybe one day it will. If they pull some type of false flag alien invasion, it will be. And the way that it's been looking, they've been doing, it goes asteroids and shit, then aliens. So everything in the last card by Dr. Carol Rosen has basically come true. And that comes from somebody way before her, Werner von Braun, who, I think that's why they do that. They feel so guilty on their deathbed. They're like, no, no, Carol, listen. You know, because he knows, because he was fucking part of the goddamn plan. And they know right before they go that they did the wrong thing. That's sad as hell. Carl Jung was said to have some regrets on his deathbed too. Even him. Because he made a business out of it. It was about money. I'm telling you. If I thought we were supposed to live it, this is my life. It's not my job, it's my life. It's not for sale. And I was sharing it. And I thought these people were too. I did not know it was a LARP. I didn't know you were live action role playing, Elena. But now it makes sense that you're all about galactic news TV and dressing up like Star Trek. There's a picture of her and Alex Collier dressed in blue. It's called True Blue for a reason, because those are the secret societies. That's the esoteric cult that believes in the idea that what they are, the idea, that's how they're a cult. They worship the idea that what they are doing is good for us. There's a picture that I posted before of Elena Danaan and Alex Collier. Alex Collier's been at this for years and years and years. He's been called a con man. His real name is actually Ralph something. It's not even Alex Collier. That's a fake name. I kind of have a feeling that maybe Elena Danaan's name is fake. Because the Thuatha Danaan, or whatever that shit is, that's too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? So, but there's a picture of the two of them sitting all dressed in the Royal Freemason blue color. David Wilcock does that too. And they're giving the middle finger. That's not to the bad guys. That's not to their haters. That's to everybody who does not know what they were doing. I knew they were doing that to me. Fuck you. You can't figure out what we're doing. Ha 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 ha. Prospering at your expense. The aliens will be here next week. Ha 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 ha. Yep. I still have that picture. Elena Danaan was going on how Elon Musk is one of them on her team. Elon Musk's an evil son of a bitch. And so is his mama. They're part of the One-Eyed Club. And I have pictures to prove that. Thank you to Alti and Childs for pointing out all of that. I mean, yeah, he was on the Jesus bit, but nobody's perfect. He didn't get that far, clearly. Or he didn't want to say so. Jesus is symbolism and allegory. The Christ is the thing. Jesus was made up. Yeah, just a story. There are people like that have existed over time, but that was made up. And the people who did that and thought that was a good idea, the same thing. Well, this will be good for them. Because they think that they're above. It's the same type of people that in the story Jesus was standing against. The ones that made the temple into a market for sale and stuff. Yeah. This is the exact same thing that they've done. Spirituality in this is not supposed to be a business. But these people will tell these people that you need to make money. You need to make something of yourself to get these aliens or whatever to come and get you. That's the only way you'll be chosen if you're us. It's a lie. Honesty, integrity, truth, unconditional, that's what gets you real places. The other stuff only gets you reincarnated because you're going to have to grow up from that. So you can be strong enough so that you don't feel the need to ever do that ever again. Because what you have and what you are is enough. And you don't need to exaggerate and lie and build upon. So it's going to become apparent, and it's going to make it very difficult for a lot of people because now no one's going to be believed. Everyone's going to be looked at as a scammer or a con artist or looking for attention or somebody that just has mental illness or a vulnerable person. You've ruined it. It's not me that's done it. Eventually, this is going to happen. If you really think that this event or whatever, this Christ is going to turn all of this, right? When this actually happens, what do you think when the polarity shift happens? Do you think you're going to be rewarded for your deception, for your greed, for your selfishness, for your prospering at other people's expense? Do you know when I first found this out? But there was no ice wall. That I made a video and I talked about how it was all spiritual. I was crying. It got reported and taken down. But you know who it was about? It was about Claudio Nicelli and Nos Confunden. So, like I dislike the fact, but I would never, never in a million years align with these people. You would never have me as your ally. Never. And I have even said to do what you have to do is the right thing. You tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, divine creator. And that's the only way you can fix it. By being truthful, authentic, why you felt the need to do what you did, and apologize. And tell the fucking truth. That's how you fix it. Corey Goode isn't going to do it. David Wilcock won't do it. He's going to have a nervous breakdown any day. Serves him right. Serves him right. You evil sons of bitches. You're a bunch of liars. And I'm sorry, I've given years. I went to you all. I've written to you. I've sent you emails, and this is why you ignored me, including Linda Howe. You guys knew I wouldn't play. And I'm not playing now. And it's not just me. Like, there's going to be more people that realize this. And I mean, maybe it just breaks their heart so bad they don't say anything. But I mean, as if people can't realize that these people are not who they say they are. Elena Danaan literally sat there calling Ishmael Perez, I'm sorry I have to say this word, she called him a mom's basement retard publicly on her platform. Then when she was called out about it so much, she changed it. It wasn't a French mistranslation. Everybody knows what that word means. She did not say anything about the jabs. When they asked her about it, she goes, oh, well, because that's what they want. They want a culling. So that these people like that, I know, because I wanted it too, right? It would have made it easier so that people wouldn't abuse me, be mean to me anymore if they were all gone, right? Well, this is the same thing. If all the bad people are gone, then your life's going to be a lot better. So that's why they wanted it. But it's not just them. It's these people too. That's why they gave you the jabs. And all these celebrities getting on there, getting their thing. All they got was saline. They only got saline. They didn't get anything, but they convinced everybody else to do the right thing. Don't hurt your family members. Care about others. That was emotional manipulation and bullshit. They're all actors. Even the politicians are full of shit. They're liars and deceivers. Yeah. So, that's the thing of it, though. You don't really need to do anything. You just need to tell the truth. That will be their undoing. I just don't know why. They thought, like, okay, well, you might prosper in this life. Like, Elena Danaan's like, oh, yeah, the aliens will be here in 20 years. Well, in 20 years, she's probably going to be dead. She's already old. Alex Collier, old. They don't care. They won't have to answer for it. They'll be dead. And there's a lot of people that have done this. A lot. And they'll sit there, like John Lear was acting so religious and so Christian and like, I was there when that man lost everything, was divorced, lost his house in Las Vegas, sitting there crying about how they're taking all his stuff away. Serves you right. Serves you right. Because if I was your wife and I found out that you were conning, scamming, and lying about disclosure like a scumbag, I would have fucking divorced you too. Yeah. So, I know this is not easy. I hope I've explained it well enough this time. I don't want you to send hate to people that I talk about here. Just ignore their existence. Ignore them. Don't give them the time of day. That's what they're doing it for. I went over the ice wall. Look at me. I'm going to Neptune with Thorhan and my spirit guides. Look at me. Ignore them. Nobody wants to hear that. And with that, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. Yeah, I'm going to keep the rest to myself. The channel will remain. My book will never be for sale again. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I regret it, and I would suggest to those people that have it to keep that to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Keep it as a gift from me to you, and just leave it at that. Because as far as this is looking now, I don't want anything more to do with it. I don't want anything more to do with it. The only thing I want to do is graduate and get out of here. And I don't need anything from anybody else. If my life's going to be lonely and alone with no friends and no family and blah, 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 then so be it. But I cannot take part in this anymore. Even just the fact, like, Amazon would be making all the money. It wouldn't help me improve my life whatsoever. So again, they'd be using me off of my truthful, honest to God work. That was from my heart and soul. And no. 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 So, and that's okay. Because I would rather be like this and die with honor and integrity and morality and all of that, rather than die like a fucking scumbag. So, it's just not nice to do to people. You are no better. It doesn't make you smarter. It makes you look like a fucking fool. And like Stephen Cambion said, what kind of fucking angel would tell you to go around making an ass of yourself on the internet? There's people out there that are telling the angels told them this and that. He's had interviews on there. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's not like I didn't know this before, but like I said, I gave these people the benefit of the doubt because I thought they were like me. But forget it. I mean, these people's lies have affected people's mental illnesses in a big fucking way, especially the ones that they're born with that they can't help, like schizophrenia and all these different things that are real conditions, you know? There's more than that, though. I've heard it. I mean, there's people that have taken their own lives because of this, because they didn't know what they did wrong and why Corey Goode would be chosen. Do you understand? And it may not have been him, but they do not care. Corey Goode sat there like, oh, people believe false things all the time, and took a sip of his fucking coffee after. These people are heartless. I would never want to do this to somebody else, ever. This is so awful. I would never want someone to think I was something I wasn't. That's not loving me. That's not me being seen. That's not having real friends. If they think you're something you're not, and it isn't a case of fake it till you make it. You're never making it. So I just, there. It's Stephen Greer, Simon Parks. They're all the fucking same. They're just making shit up. The whole Q Cobra thing was totally fake. So, I mean, There's people that may be fooled themselves, like Jordan Sather. He got fooled a bunch of times. He was going on about the Q stuff. He was going on about cosmic disclosure with Corey Goode. There's an interview with him too, so he got fooled as well, but I don't like him either. You could see right through that fella. I called out, what was his name? Ryan Reynolds? A while ago. Never liked Ryan Reynolds. It turns out Ryan Reynolds is a big fucking asshole. What a surprise. Everybody loved him. Oh my god. These evil shits. Oh man. I can't, I don't want to like rub it in too much though because it makes them mad. It makes them mad enough that I exist. For me to be rubbing it in makes it worse. But trust me, I put up with so much. You keep trying, and I keep thriving. You know why? Because the divine creator is really with me. That's why I was created. And I mean, I'm really trying here because, like, I know I've got my ass beat in this life, and so I really don't want or need the karma. But honestly, it feels pretty damn good to know that I did not choose that path. It feels good to know that, see, it even says it in the Vedic cosmology that the ones with the UFOs you don't want. They're actually lower dimensionals. This is why people were talking about inner Earth and stuff like that. They're not the worst, but they're still not the ones that you want. Okay? They're really not. So if it goes 7 dimensions going up and 7 going down, okay, it kind of works the same up as it goes down. So in the beginning levels, it's not so bad. That would be like inner earth beings, okay? People like, that have talked about this. These are the lower dimensionals. That's why they have these spaceships and stuff. But the higher dimensionals have no need. Sorry, my hair is bothering me. The higher dimensionals have no need for that because they can teleport and biolocate. Or that might be the same thing. I mean, telepathy and biolocation. So it just takes a lot of energy to do. It would. You'd only be able to do that a couple of times without needing rest and to replenish your energy. Yeah, you can't just continuously do that. It's a drain. But yeah, that's the problem. We've heard that before. So it talks about that in the Vedic cosmologies. But again, it's like, like some of them are good and some of them are not good in this level of things. They live pretty comfortably because the inner earth, as you have heard about it, is quite nice. But the lower you go, the worse it gets, and this is why. Yeah, it's just a shame, you know. I feel bad for that fella who used to be my friend who doesn't like me anymore, which is fine. It's for the best. Um, because he couldn't control his crush. You know what I mean? Like he kept making advances, and I kept telling him no, and he just wouldn't stop. And so it got really irritating. I don't know if it's because he's French or what, but he just didn't get it, and that was a big part of me just being okay with letting the friendship go anyway. You know, I really don't think that guys and girls most cases can just be friends. One of them always wants more. I think that's what it's been for my case anyway. But anyway, so but he did. He spent all those years, and he probably still is, out there looking for UFOs and aliens, and he'll never make contact. And this is why. Because there's if not everything, it has to do with the spiritual and the etheric. So it doesn't mean that it's not real. It just most likely will never be here on this physical plane because this is a school. It's supposed to be like this unless, like I was saying, like there is a changeover of the ages. This does occur, but I don't know. I don't think it's something that's going to happen like that. It's something that would most likely happen gradually. Mhm. So I don't know. But I don't know everything, so I can only go so far with it. But what I've said now and today about these people, and I only speak on it because it's something that needs to be spoken about. Even Stephen Cambion doesn't understand the whole picture. I'm not judging him for it, but um, there is more. And that's why there has been it does draw people in because they all know this intuitively inside of them. There is something that connects us to all of this, and this is what it is, our spirituality, you know. And this is one of the reasons why I started doing what I was doing because I knew that if I talked about my own dreams like that, people remember theirs, and then it would help them connect their inner world to make sense of this outer one. Yeah. And that was the most important part. So, yeah, I'm honest to God hoping that Stephen Cambion will interview me one day. I do. I do. And I'm prepared for that. So, yeah. And then we will continue. And I don't even care. Like, I just don't have as much energy as he does. So, I don't agree with all of his tactics, but we've already discussed that on the channel, and I've said it right to him. So, you know, it's all good. But this needs to be known. It does. All of it. And it's a shame because, well, it's actually part of the test, like I said before. You know, people will make the assumption that all of this is mental illness. That's your test. You'll probably have to deal with this in another lifetime or something. Um, I'm not trying to be rude. This is just, if you keep denying it, it'll just get pushed further. So eventually this will be part of your reality, the whole aliens thing, even though you think that it never will, because I didn't think so in 2010 when it happened. Never thought. Um, at that point, I just kind of let it go. I was trying to grow up and live my adult life. So, yeah, it does evolve. Shit, I kind of lost my train of thought because I was just about to go. Oh well. I think that, I've said, oh yeah, about thinking that it's mental illness, CPTSD, or because of the fact that um, I'm using marijuana. I think that there's a lot of people that, especially that haven't used it, like, I would hope that something like that would happen. Like, oh, I'm gonna smoke 10 bowls in a row. Hope I see them fucking aliens. No, it never worked. It never worked. And there's some people that take like DMT and all these crazy drugs and stuff like that. You don't need to do that. And in fact, a lot of the cases you get false experiences anyway. They're not genuine. And, it's just trickster beings and beings that are fucking around, which I love that. They're bored. They don't have much to do. So any opportunity you give them, they will take it. So, but yeah, I was just talking to some people. It triggered me yesterday again because again, Simon Parks and his shit is coming up again, and connecting consciousness and Simon Parks and that whole thing is extraordinarily dangerous, and it's unhealthy, and it's a scam and a con. And Simon's been called out for it in England. I think he got sued for some bracelets and stuff like that. There's a fella who covers that more. Um, Although he was not very nice to me at all. He was actually a big fucking asshole. So I'll never talk to him again. It's a waste of time. He's just intent on being an asshole. At least Stephen Cambion does have emotional intelligence, and I've seen him use it multiple times. So yeah, I'm just going to keep telling people the truth over and over and over, and I will recruit the help of others. Yes. And it is not because I want to hurt you, but it's because I am really tired of this. and I can't take it anymore. It's not fair for other people. That guy that I was telling you about, the UFO researcher here in town who's no longer my friend, he did not deserve that. He's a very good researcher, and he's very smart. And the fact that they were making it so physical science looking for them on Mars, he was always looking out, he never looked in. You see what I'm saying? It's a distraction. All these disclosure people. Mm-hmm. And Stephen Greer, that's the alliance. He got all those people together to do that. There's been a plan that was enacted a long time ago. It goes way back to the days of ancient Egypt. You can learn about it. Manly P. Hall does talk about it through the Great Destiny of the Americas. That's Canada and the US in the West. And so there's this forced evolution experiment going on. But it started back in the day. Way long time ago. So, yeah. Everything's been planned. All the political leaders are chosen. All of it. That's why nothing really changes. You'll see like different parties come in, but nothing really changes. Anyway. There. And now I'm never talking about it again. Like, not like this, wasting my time with it on my channel. Like, I'm going to take a break and then I'm just going to go do something else, you know? Like, I still want to talk about this and I'll still, you know, but it's, spirituality is not a business. This is my life. And I'm not just going to talk about it, I'm going to be about it. So I have to, like, I've even tried to go again without having any weed, and it's not gone so well. So I'm going to try one more time, although I don't have the money to waste. Like, I'm going to have to take out another loan because I cannot afford to feed myself and my babies and buy my medicine. And I mean, it's always been like this. I mean, without, you know, any exterior help, it's always been like this. So it's not like this is a new thing. But yeah. So I'm going to try to look for a CBD oil. Try one more time. Other than that, I don't know. People will think it's CPTSD, mental illness, drugs, but again, that just makes it so that you do not graduate this class this year. Come back again next year. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. That's just how it works. You know, like maybe if I hadn't stayed on, because it's because I wanted community, I wanted friends, I wanted to be around people like me that really understood me and that appreciated and saw me for who I really am. And so that when I talk about this stuff, I could talk about it and have, like, I always thought having Elena Danaan as my friend would be so amazing. Have a woman like that. She's older than me, you know, I'm sure that I could learn from her and things like this. And I didn't think she was ever going to be that way. I remember sitting there at this computer with her, or it was probably another computer at the time. It was years ago now. But when her black cat passed away, I lost Bagheera as well. It was my black baby. And I sat there crying my eyes out with her. The pain of it. This will never make somebody want to be your friend. And I'm going to try my best to help you guys by explaining to people why the fuck you would even think this is a good idea, but it's gotta come from you before it's too late. Or you will lose everything, including their love and respect that you've gained falsely. Falsely. Please do the right thing and tell the truth to them. They love and respect you and look up to you. You owe them that. Or don't. And I promise you, you're going to wish you had of when nobody wants to give you the time of day. and no one believes anything that you say or thinks you're ever being genuine. They won't trust you anymore. I think they're moving snow outside, so I'm going to go. But I hope this is the last time. I don't want this to keep coming up for me because it's awful and it's hindering my journey. So I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to speak my truth, but I'm not going to wrestle with it anymore. I can't. None of these people gave me a single thought. None of them gave a single shit. I existed, with the exception by feeling. I'm just going to say it because of Claudio. And it could be the fact that I have a crush on him. So remember that. We won't ever know because he doesn't even speak. You know what I mean? He's hiding behind Helen Morris. So I do. I feel a little sad and a little like I'm kind of stepping my toe in waters that I shouldn't because it isn't my business. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna ruffle your feathers. I'm gonna stick my foot right in that water because I want to encourage you to do the right thing. Yeah. So you can hate me for it. It's fine. You can even. I don't care. People have been trying to kill me so long. It never works. So you can meet me outside, or you can meet me in the astral, or you can meet me at this table. But I will always be there to stand against what's wrong. When I said I stood up for truth, love, and justice like Sailor Moon, I wasn't joking. So, I will right wrongs and triumph over evil. And now I'm gonna go. Take care, everybody. I really hope this was good. I'm gonna rewatch it, and please let this be the end of it. Because I don't want to keep trying to make videos like this. Watch all the links below. If you're interested in even caring about, anything that I've just said, then, if you're curious or whatever, then just go and educate yourself by watching these things that I provided to you. That's why I've done it. A lot of people, I've had some say, oh, I don't even read, don't even bother read description. What? Okay. Well, good. I've done my part then. And I've been telling the truth, I've been being myself, and now I'm going to take myself a break. So, whenever you see me again, you see me again. I mean, that's just how it goes. Okay? Alright, well, take care, everybody. Have a nice time. Bye!